traders, just recording this Friday morning trade. You can see this little blue line here, that's my entry on this pound US dollar. We are an hour and 10 minutes off the data. What I would be interested in is just taking this up to 225, 230, and just taking that off and then standing aside for the data. Of course, if it starts to really hold and move up, then I'll just manage my stop. But my goal at the moment is just to hit that higher level. I have got my stop set at 163, just under 163. I always set it quite high so that if we do get a really whippy move to the upside, I can capture it. Otherwise, I would adjust that nearer the time. But it's a nice hammer. So you've got the fibs on here, so it picks off this 195 support. I'm actually in at 198. I've got the hammer just activated here. If you look across the time frames, the 15 minutes is coming off the 100 EMA with low stochastics. We've got low RSI and low stochastics on the 5-minute chart. On the 4-hour chart, you can see we had this trend line support down here at the lows. Yesterday 137 was bought. They ran it up last night in the Asian session close to 250. And so you can see where the 220 comes from. 220, 225 is a massive area of resistance up there. This to me we've got a hammer and a stopping bar on the 4-hour. But if you look at weekly pivots, we've not even bothered with. 161 was the weekly pivot, which I was waiting for and didn't get, so I had to start buying higher. And oops, didn't want that. If I just pan this right back, you can see there's my long-term target, 163, right up there for the weekly R1. So that's the next logical pivot if this area here holds. Okay, so let's just put the camera back to this one. So I'm just about to go close on this 5-minute chart, and we are already coming to the first stage of the fib resistance. And if we knock out this 208, the parabolic SAR, that confirms that we have changed trend from the downtrend to the uptrend. Alright, obviously got the 50 EMA up there at 15 and the 4-hourly pivot at 217. Alright, so I'll pause the video and let's see how we go. Okay, so looking across at the time frames, we've now got a 15-minute hammer off the 100. But we're bashing ahead up against this 205 level. So we need to start in the next 15-30 minutes, we need to start closing above that, otherwise this may just roll over. You can see the 8 and 21 cross above us. So we have got a lot of overhead resistance. But I'm managing my stop. I might move my stop up to 190 now. So I am about 8-9 points off of my entries. My risk-reward ratio has improved. And let's have a look at the weekly and the daily. Here's the weekly. So last week we touched the 80 EMA the first time for 6 weeks on the weekly chart. There's the resistance up there at 164, a fib level resistance, lots of touches of that. So I think at least we could test that either this week, either today or next week. Well, today will be quite ambitious, but that will need a very big push from the data. This week, not to say that can't happen. If GDP at 9:30 is very good, that could happen. Expect the unexpected. Here's the 5-minute chart that we are trading in. So we dropped back close to my entry point. We held this 5-minute 200. Let me just double check that is a 200. Yeah. And just close above the 200. We just closed above the 205 in a 5-minute chart. So let's see if that can start to do something. If we start to hit this fib level here, then I'll need to manage my stop. Right, pause the video again. Okay, just coming to close to this 226 area. So I don't want to get greedy. You know, this is Friday morning, the data's not out yet. Let's drag that. Oops. Drag this limit order down to that level. Let's just see if we can get an initial morning pop. Obviously got a lot of fib resistance here, in fact. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just trade the waves on this. I'm going to, because it's Friday morning and the data's some way off, I'm going to take this one off and then buy back on a pullback. Okay, so I've got 20 points here at the moment. Let's just see if I can get squeeze a little more out of it. Like I said, I don't want to be greedy. Okay, we're just coming up to 27 now. Got about 23, 24 points here. Okay, so just taking that off. And now I would look to reload if I can see pull back down to these levels here. Otherwise I'm just going to leave it, stand aside, and then wait and see how the data handles. Why do I do that? Why have I only gone up to 20 points? Because if I can get, you know, in a trading room, if I can get 3 lots of 20 points, then, you know, every day with just a small amount of time at the screen, then I'm happy. What I don't want to do is stay at the screen all day, try and get 100 points, only to get stopped out and not end up with anything. So by doing this, I can get my point total up just by taking modest, by taking buying support and selling resistance, or selling resistance and buying support. Okay, so I think we could see at least 210, possibly even a retest of this 200, 205 area. I don't know for that for sure. If it runs away, that's fine. You know, bank my 23, 24 points, or whatever it is. I'm happy with that for now, and then I'll reload when I think the time is right. Okay, I'll pause the video again and let's see how this pans out. Okay, this is why it's best just to stay out. So in the early part of this recording, you saw me take 23, 24 points here. I'm just back in here, now the data's out. So it ripped right down to 188. And just looking to see if we can break this 225, 230 level and take a move up to at least this R1. Okay, so I've entered here. It was relatively calm, so I've got a reasonable feel. Let's see how this one works out. Okay, I have no idea what the data is like. All I'm doing is just monitoring the market's reaction. And the market so far is fairly happy. So I am 12 points up at the moment. And I'll just pause this video and then see how far we can get. Okay, so this is a good, more of a relaxing way to handle these data moves. I used to trade a 3-wave move on these sort of data announcements, but in recent months you don't tend to get a 3-wave move. You tend to just get one direction. You tend to get a bit of a move down to a key support level, and then you tend to just get the direction. At the moment, this is what we're getting. So we've got a lot of resistance at 240, and if we can break 240, 250, we've got even more resistance at 265. So let's just see how we handle this. I'd like to see a close above 240. If this looks as if it's going to be too tough, then I'll just take what I've got. But give it another couple of bars at least. I think as it's a bit slow and it is Friday, again, I don't want to be too greedy. This is a lot of resistance up here, so if I see another touch of that 240, I'll take that. We're not thrusting, we're very gently just seeing a lot of selling pressure on that 240 pivot. Give it a little bit more time, otherwise I'll just take this off. It's important not to be too greedy. Let's just see if we get any kind of little push here, or is this it? I've got 18 points at the moment, so going a little bit higher. It would be nice to have got in a little bit lower, but as long as I get profits, then it doesn't matter. It's not about the entry, it's more about the exit. And because this is slow, I'm going to take what I've got. So I've got a 23-point move and an 18-point move. And they were relatively relaxing, not too strenuous, not too much, took very little heat on them. And so that's 30, 40, 41 points. Okay, 41 points in, I was in this trade for, was I in 20 minutes? I was in this trade for about 7 or 8 minutes. Alright, so 41 points is my target, is my profit this day so far. So I'll pack up now and then see what the US market gives. But as it's Friday, not looking for a whole heap of moves. Durable goods at 130, and UK consumer sentiment at 5 to 3. So we've got a lot of data. So I'm going to take it very easy today and then wait until that data is out of the way. Alright, so this is what we're going to be doing in the trading room. So make sure that you've got all the details of the trading room. Contact me if you haven't, and I look forward to seeing you in there.